Drake,
Drake.
Kendrick Lamar,
Right.
J. Cole, butting heads with one another. Kendrick Lamar got an album coming out. Obviously, I think all of them are going to profit off of it in some way, as they should. I ain't hating on that at all. But just using that as an opportunity to talk about the quote-unquote beefs that take place in today's generation in the hip-hop industry. Any issues with that at all?
Well, I mean, those are nice guys, you know, and so like me, I'll get into those conversations, but when you look at them two, those two dudes ain't gonna harm a fly, you know. The last time
Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar, Drake, J. Cole, and I think Future.
Yeah, they're relatively nice guys. Like when the last thing that I did say something about was when I saw Shannon and Mike Epps.
Shannon Sharp and Mike Epps.
When they went at it on social media, then I said something, and because I what I said and when I go to these guys, because when you're dealing with the kids on the streets, right, every day, and when you're dealing with different municipalities, our city, Miami, and the police chiefs and all them, and we sitting there trying to stop crime and stop crime violence, which we brought it down almost 70% here in murders and all that.
Wow.
With these young people. You know, these young people, they doing a lot of killing through the internet. I have a beef with you, and I say it on TikTok, I said it on Facebook, and before you know it, you know, I go to your neighborhood, shoot up the neighborhood, don't necessarily shoot the person that you supposed to be shooting. You shoot some innocent little girl walking around the yard, or grandma sitting on the porch, or something like that. So these things start off on the internet. And so when I saw the Mike Epps and Shannon,
Sharp, yeah.
It just triggered me. Like, okay, are we this is what we doing. We're trying to stop these kids from doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I know both of them personally. Both of them are good guys, and both of them would never think about involving themselves in that. But you're saying over the internet, because y'all were beefing over the internet, it gave that kind of impression.
And exactly. And kids looking at that, thinking that that's okay. You know, that we can have these beefs and all that. And so, and that's why I was cheering like all outdoors when the guys came together and was like, man,
That's right.
hey, man, they dapped it up. We love each other and all that, because that sends a message to the average kid out there that you don't do that. You know, you don't. We beef, but then we could beef and we could come together and we could have a conversation. Ain't enough of that happening. And so when you see the J. Cole and the Future and all
Kendrick Lamar,
Drake, and all that, you know, I don't think that'll get to that level, because all of them are really nice guys.
Right.
I mean, Future, Future can.
But you're talking about lyrics. You're talking about beefing over the internet. I'm talking with them. That was just lyrics in their music.
Correct.
So, do you have concern about that? The way that you have concerns about folks beefing over the internet?
Yes, I do. I mean, when the lyrics get to the point where I'm gonna go and I'm going to your house and I'm gonna do something to you and all that and everything, when it gets that deep, then that's when it becomes a problem, because again, your fans are young people.
Right.
You know, and young people are looking at this, and if you conduct yourself a certain type of way, young people feel like it's okay for them to conduct themselves a certain type of way. Right. And so when it gets to that, if it's just art, if it becomes like, you know, Megan Thee Stallion and
whether Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or somebody.
Cardi B, you know, that's like cat fights. That's okay. You know, that's always been in hip hop. You know, whether it was Roxanne Shante and Real Roxanne.
And in fairness to J. Cole, Drake, Future, and Kendrick Lamar, I don't want to call it a cat fight, but they weren't threatening any. There was no threat or anything like that. It wasn't.
It wasn't no threat, no bodily harm threats and all that. It wasn't none of that type of stuff going on. So I look at those type of beefs as being, you know, just artistic form, and they'll get on there. They'll write a record against each other. Right. It'll be almost like when Drake and Meek Mills went at it on the record, and somebody will get, you know, killed on a verse, and then they'll go sit down in the corner and say, I'm not gonna mess with that guy no more.
That's right.